Char. Alright. Hello guys, it's already 11:41 in the evening and I am not yet sleepy. So I'm gonna tell you a sweet story tonight, okay? So yeah, I have someone there behind me. Yeah, they are my colleagues, but they don't care about me speaking here in front of them, so I don't care. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna tell you one sweet story about this big word that you have heard. I mean, maybe frequently or during your high school days, the word globalization. Okay, globalization is indeed a big word because you may see a lot of definitions and maybe in this book. Okay, so to all my Kolehiyo ng Pantukan learners, I know that you are reading this book right now. This is The Contemporary World from made by Prince Kenex Riguel Aldama. Okay, so I hope guys that you're reading this book because this contains a lot of information, important information that you need to learn to understand the whole concept of what globalization is and how our world changes over time. Okay, so here is the deal. This word has started to appear in the Webster's Dictionary in 1961. The word globalization. And from there, many people have attempted to decipher its true meaning. Okay? For my KNP students, I know that you are reading the book. Okay? And upon reading the first, quarter of the book, you may see a lot of authors, yes, like laundry list of authors, telling what globalization is. Okay? They're trying to give the definition of that word, for example. Let me read one for you right here on the page 1. It says right here, for instance, Swedish journalist Thomas Larsson, 2001, says that, saw globalization as the process of world shrinkage, of distances getting shorter, things moving closer. It pertains to the increasing ease with which somebody on one side of the world can interact to mutual benefit with somebody on the other side of the world. Okay, alright. On page 2, we see right here, the one offered by Ome in 1992 stated that globalization means the onset of the borderless world. Okay, like reading that one makes your nose bleed like, oh my god, epistaxis. But what do these definitions mean? Okay, so let's get this one started. So, guys, I understand you totally, so that's why I will speak Bisaya here and English too, for me to express further the idea and for you to understand it well, okay? So, we will discuss a bit of history here. We know that our country, Pilipinas, mahal kong Pilipinas, was so primitive back then. And, every country was primitive back then, okay? So, it's true to all. Alright. Until, the people discover the iron, ang bakal. And back then, our ancestors had never been satisfied in their way of living, alright? Just like us right now, we have never been satisfied of our living. Although we are already considered the modern people, we are in the modern era, but you know what? We are still in search for something. We're always looking forward for the future. And it's like, walang katapusang pangangailangan. Okay, but it's not about that right now. Okay, so our ancestors back then had never been satisfied in their way of living. So they ventured for something amazing that will improve their living to the point that our ancestors had traveled to other parts of the globe, other parts of the world in search for a better life. And that's migration, okay? And that's just one starter pack for the idea, globalization. Alright, another example. When you are, or imagine, when you are living in the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, or in the early 20th century, huna-hunaa, what was difficult back then? Communication. Okay? Well, communication to your close friends or close people around your radius is possible. But what I am talking about right here is the distant communication. Okay, communication from faraway places to the people who are kilometers and kilometers away from you. Alright, huna-huna kung nakapuyo ka ato nga mga time people, communication was so difficult, okay? It would take you forever to send a letter. Okay, I mean, that's just a hyperbole. Okay, it's an exaggeration. But it will take you like a week or a month para mapadala nimo ang imuhang sulat sa ubang tao nga imuhang gighigugma or sa mga business partners nimo atong mga time. And then, it would take a week or a month na pod para maka-receive ka atong mga letter. Plus, the method of letter writing and letter sending back then was so vulnerable to environmental risks. Wala ka kabalo nga kanading tao nga imuhang gisugo para ipadala ng letter dito kay maunsa na along the way or na mga natural calamity nga maoy mo hinder nga maoy no dili mapadala ang sulat. So again, an impeded communication is like no communication at all. It's a failure. Alright, so it's considered a noise. Now, for some reasons, a person from a part of the globe in some other part of the globe thought of that problem, and that is in the person of Alexander Graham Bell. You're right. So tungod kinakita na niya nga problema, naghimo siya og unsa? Correct. Telephone. Okay. So Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, and now that the telephone was made, it was replicated and manufactured in higher volumes para daghag mas makagamit. O diba? So thanks to Alexander Graham Bell's brilliant mind. Now, more and more people find it easier to communicate in distant places because of the telephone. It was like magic. Right now, we are just taking it for granted. Tungod kay murag normal na nato nga makita, but back then, people who saw that kind of discovery considered it a magic. Huna-huna similar nga tingog yun nimo madunggan dito sa pinakalayo. Okay? And how did that make them possible? Through science. Okay, so here's the deal. A lot of countries had heard that amazing discovery. So they, of course, try to get that product from the country of origin kung asa to nabuhat. And that, huna-huna mahal kaayo ang telephone ato nga mga panahon. Okay, dili na mga tagkuan ra. Huna-hunaan ron nga murag tagpiso ra nga makaon. No! Mahal kayo na, okay? It was an invention, one of the greatest inventions of the world. Okay? But again, since mahal siya, oops, murag grabe ang kwarta nga dapat ipagawas nimo para mapalit na. But you know what? Naghuna-huna ang kada country nga, uy, it will be worth it because the communication from one country to another country will become so possible. So, every country took the risk and buy that product. So, karon pagpalit nila ato, uy, gitistingan nila, uy, hala, worth it. Okay? Now that the telephone was everywhere, I mean, up until right now, it's everywhere, okay? So, the world has started to become interconnected. Huna-huna aragod, ang mga country, kada country, ang communication na himo nang possible. I can call to this country can call to me. Inga na, nagka-cambio-cambio na, exchange na og information because of telephone. Transactions from anywhere in the country and anywhere in the globe were made easier and fast because of the telephone. So, since paspas naman ang transaction, the exchange of goods from Philippines to other countries vis-a-vis from other countries to Philippines were made lot better. Okay? Were made lots and lots of better. Grabe yun. So, thanks to Alexander Graham Bell. And that's a discovery. Technology. And that's another starter pack for the idea of globalization. Alright. Now, aside from the phone, the telephone that Alexander discovered, a lot of discoveries were made back then. For example, the calculator, computer, refrigerator, air conditioner, the space shuttles, okay, in the space, and the submarines underwater. See, all of these machines have contributed to the rise of technology. And with the rise of these machines, the world has become so interconnected again that we can actually share what we have in this country without traveling to another country. Okay? Dili na kailangan hassle pa kaayo. Pwede na nato na unsa man ron. Hala, go, i-share sa kalibutan through internet. Kung unsa ang nasa Pilipinas, pwede na nila matanawan dito through internet. Okay? Nanampud tay camera karon. So, that was made possible. Also guys, we can pay transactions online thanks to the e-money. So kung unsa may gusto nimo nga paliton gikan sa laing nasod, ipadala nimo diri sa Pilipinas o ipadala nimo sa imuhang portahan gyud mismo, that is already possible. Salamat Shopee, salamat Lazada. All right? Bayaran lang ka through GCash, through online banking. Now, on top of that one, there is an easy exchange of currencies and resources from one country to another. Trading. O, go Philippines, padala og kuan didto product. Uy, si Vietnam may ginapadala diri sa Pilipinas og product na pod. Oh, see? Because of communication. Tamang komunikasyon lang. Okay? But huna-huna ra good, it started from the telephone. And then nahitabo na ni nga mga action. I'm not saying na ang telephone ang cause sa globalization. It's just that whenever something is made already, kanang something is new, murag mas nakatabang siya ba para mas muusbong ang kalibutan. Okay? That is actually the idea of interdependence. So, kung asa to nga country na buhat to nga technology, thank you ato, nakatabang ka sa ubang country para mas mapapaspas ang mga transactions. Okay? That is interdependence. Alright. And, of course, guys, aside from that one, what you're actually wearing right now, kaning t-shirt, or maybe kanang unsa jud ang gisuot nimo nga nasa imuha karon, is actually a product of every country's hyper-connectedness. So, from all the examples I gave in this part of video, nagka-idea na ba ka unsa ang globalization about? Sir, wala pa sir. Kung wala pa, watch the part 2, okay?